Welcome to Breaking News. I'm Kaylee, and I bring you the latest news on today. On September 30th, Dana Boyd took the stage at the Online News Association's annual conference in Austin. She is the founder and president of Data and Society, a research institute dedicated to thorny issues at the intersection of technology and society. The topic she had come to address and the audience before which has chosen to address it was among the thorniest. Boyd was in Austin to tell media that they were getting played.
I'm hoping that you can hear what I'm saying, she told the assembled journalists, because our democracy depends on you recognizing that you are being manipulated. The manipulators Boyd was talking about were mostly alt-right and alt-light trolls, conspiracy theorists, and provocators. They would do or say something offensive or outrageous, bathed in the flood of negative publicity, and use the media's coverage, particularly its storm of outrage, fact-checking, oppositional coverage, to whip up their base, generate interest in their ideas, and stoke the belief that the MSM was against them. Dana Boyd was warning the journalists that the strategies of modern media manipulators were different. They had learned to thrive on negative coverage and had discovered they could popularize ideas and recruit sympathizers by provoking the media into trying to discredit their noxious ideas. Boyd suggested there was a simple way to shut down the manipulations of these trolls. Ignore their attention games and focus your reporting on the wide range of non-hateful political views in this country that aren't screaming loudly to get your attention, she advised. Last week, law enforcement apprehended a pro-Trump obsessive who was mailing bombs to the president's political opponents. Over the weekend, an anti-Semite entered a synagogue in Philadelphia and murdered 11 Jewish worshippers on the grounds that Jews were behind the caravan of migrants that Trump keeps hyping as an existential threat to American safety. It's easy to read Trump's tweets with their quasi-random capitalization and miss the care with which they are crafted. But there is a phrase in this one that Trump knows elicits more media outrage than any other: the true enemy of the people. The media doesn't much care when the president calls them fake news anymore, but calling them the enemy of the people mere days after mentally imbalanced Make America Great Again obsessive sent them bombs in the mail, the media isn't going to ignore that, and Trump knew it. But this wasn't just a morning missive from Trump. This was a coordinated message from his White House. On Monday afternoon, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders held her first press briefing since October the 3rd to reiterate Trump's sentiments. The rare briefing was held for one reason, and one reason only. Sanders wanted an on-camera confrontation with the media, and she got it. As the briefing wrapped up, Sanders delivered the message she wanted the country to hear. You guys have a huge responsibility to play in the divisive nature of this country. When 90% of the coverage of everything this president does is negative, despite the fact that the country is doing extremely well, despite the fact that the president is delivering on exactly what he said he was going to do if elected, she said. And he got elected by an overwhelming majority of 63 million Americans who came out and supported him and wanted to see his policies enacted. It was a perfect statement. It combined an outrageously timed attack on the media with a complaint that Trump just can't get fair coverage and wrapped it in the kind of easily proven lie the press can't resist covering. Far from being elected by an overwhelming majority, Trump lost the popular vote. Days after Trump's inauguration, then chief strategist Steve Bannon gave an interview to the New York Times. I want you to quote this. Bannon said, "The media here is the opposition party." Just in case his point was missed, he said it again. "You are the opposition party, not the Democratic Party. You are the opposition party. The media is the opposition party." Trump has always treated his presidency as a reality show, and every good reality show needs a villain. From day one, Trump wanted his villain to be the media. With Democrats basically powerless, the media was the only force powerful enough to make continuing sense of Trump's aggrieved oppositional political style. The problem was that the media didn't want to be Trump's opposition party. The media wanted to cover his presidency. Early on, the media wanted more than anything else to normalize his presidency, and their coverage of it. There was a constant hunt for the moments when Trump appeared presidential or seemed to be changing his behavior to better match the burdens of his office. Trump's solution to that problem has been to provoke the media into looking like his opposition by lying in more absurd ways and directly attacking them in more outrageous ways at more and more outrageous times. Remember, for instance, the fake news awards, which Trump hyped on Twitter for weeks. Social media and propagandistic outlets like Fox News let Trump drive the story before any independent editorial judgment comes into play. Mainstream publications that ignore the controversies he creates would make themselves look like the opposition in a totally different way and would likely lose market share to outlets that swarmed around Trump's provocations and reaped the social and search traffic that came with it.
And this story appears in Breaking News, a news from us on the latest twists and turns around Donald Trump's media manipulation strategy. Subscribe and follow us along with more about Trump administration policy. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the duration of today's program. Thank you for watching.